Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boys.
What is up? What is up, everybody? It's another Hambone to the movies in the horror corner. Like I was saying before in my last video, trying to, just talk about the stuff that I love. Horror is my favorite genre. So I'm really going to focus on that and everything else. I'm going to be doing some like new movies, some older movies. I mean, with the way it is out there in the world of the movie making business, you know what I'm saying? There's not going to be as much movies come out as there was in, years past. So kind of want to just be able to like go in and be like, boom. So this is a movie right here, Sick. That's what we're going to be talking about today. This movie right here is one that kind of was like not on my radar. As you can see, it was like a Peacock original and everything else. So it just kind of came out of nowhere for me, to be honest with you. I did not know a whole lot about this movie before I went into it and stuff right there. And it's going to be like a pleasant surprise. Before we get on all of that, man, if you will, though, hit that subscribe button. Hit that little bell and help us out a little bit. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We'd appreciate you guys if you could do that. It doesn't cost you anything, and we appreciate it. I also want to give a shout out to all the Patreons out there that allow us to do the little bit that we can and stuff like that. And if you grow on that, you can join our Discord where we do things like watch alongs together. You can join our instant reactions that we've been doing for different shows that we were watching together and then doing our instant reactions afterwards. So yeah, man, you can come by and join all that good stuff. We also do things with sports and like fantasy football and stuff. But with that being said, let's talk about the movie Sick. All right. It was directed by John Hyams. It was written by Kevin Williamson. We have actors and actresses Gideon Aldine, Beth Million, and Dylan Sprayberry. Man, I went in here, like I was saying before, like not really expecting a whole lot from this movie, Peacock original. How many times have you seen somebody say, oh man, Peacock made a good movie? It's like, I don't know, probably never. But with that being said, Sick is a movie set in the pandemic times. It's obviously a slasher movie, which is actually a great premise because of everyone being quarantined and alone, right? So like everybody is kind of like living their life more in a quarantine setting. We're not like out and about as much and everything. So it even makes like people almost be trapped in, by someone who would be like a slasher style, like serial killer style kind of, thing. So that was actually a pretty good premise. It also shows us how we act in a scary time, being we're afraid of a virus, so much so we change our entire lives around it. We had to wear masks during this time. And it almost helps out the killers because it hides you in, who you are, with the face mask in public. I know how there was a couple of times I like ran into a friend in public and they'd be wearing their mask and I wasn't like 100% sure if that was them. So it made it kind of tough. So we're willing to change a whole lot of things and all that stuff. Like we're wiping down packages after buying them from the store. And that's what they did in this movie. Now, nobody I ever saw did that. If you did that, put a comment down below like you were wiping down like they had like somebody had bought like frozen pizza or whatever, and they were like wiping down the package when they got it home before they put it up. I was like, I don't know if I ever wiped the package, anytime during that, but that was pretty interesting to see. I'm pretty sure they put it in the movie because some people were doing that. Even the different rules that we have for ourselves, like at the beginning of this movie, they're getting in the car ride to go to, to get to this vacation style home and everything. So, and then they go to get in the car and the one girl shows up and the other girl doesn't have her mask on yet. And she's like complaining, like, you got to put on your mask and all that. So like the other girl puts on her mask and everything else and they go on their trip. But as soon as they get to the vacation home, they both take off their masks. The one girl that was so like hardcore about wearing the mask, like, is all of a sudden not as hardcore about it whenever they get to the vacation home and all of that. But she was very hardcore about her doing it in a car ride. So like, it doesn't even really make sense. But a lot of things we did during that time didn't make sense when you kind of look at it retrospectively, right? Like, it's like, wear your mask here. I mean, there was people that were wearing their masks and they wasn't even around people and stuff. Like, so, hey, crazy times calls for like crazy things to occur. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even the people that were so hardcore about not wearing a mask was weird. So like you kind of see both things on both sides a little bit there whenever all these like crazy times are happening uh, in our world. Uh, I really think that this movie circumvents, and it's a very like I know how some people don't like it when people will say like, "Oh, it's a smart, intelligent horror movie." I actually truly believe that this was a super intelligent style horror movie. I really liked it, and I really thought that everything they did, like every decision that the key characters had to make in this movie, they made for like a reason. It wasn't just like, oh my god, like this is we're gonna run up the stairs when it's obvious we should have ran out the door and everything. Like they came up with like creative ways of them like actually being smart, making the right decisions, and all that stuff. Um, you have Andrea play the smart. The X shows up, and then the X that comes in there. You think that might be one of the killers. He turns out not to be. Like I'm trying not to do a whole lot of spoilers in these things because they are like quicker reviews, but there will be some here. But like he shows up, right, and it's like this is just something I wanted to talk about. The movie was like he shows up, you think, oh my god, he's probably going to end up being one of the killers. Turns out it's not, and turns out he comes up with one of the best game plans I've ever seen in like a horror movie that was like legit. Now, of course, something happens that makes perfect sense of why they can't get out of there, but he came up with a great escape plan, and they almost pulled it off. But watch the movie to find out exactly what happened. That was real smart there. But it was a damn smart way to get them back in the house. It was super great and something that is special to see in a horror. Very thought out. Not just things happening to happen. I don't even want to ruin it for you guys, but damn, the twist of two, more than one killer, and they the smart way they do it. Also, the play dead scene is actually terrifying. Just imagine being there at that moment. So there's one of the characters that is like badly injured, like fell off a roof basically or whatever, and you think she's dead, but turns out she's not dead. But then like her friend tries to help her out for a little bit, and the killer's starting to come towards where they're at, and she has to play dead, like, oh, I'm dead. And the killer's standing like right above her. She can feel it. Like, man, dude, just imagine like you can't do anything, you barely able to move, like your legs broke or something, and you're just trying to play dead just in hopes that they don't just like kill you, that they just keep walking. That was actually a pretty cool thing. But the just the pain and everything that you're in. But like even the pain of like the killers, like whenever they would get hit and stuff like that, they would like showcase, oh shit, I'm hurt and everything else. There were only a couple of moments that I felt that they actually did things to set up a surprise, like when walking away from the mother at the end, only after pushing her out of the glass door. So you got these like it turns into be like this killer family situation, and the mom gets pushed out of this glass door. That was the one thing in this movie that I was like, okay, they just did that so they could have like a surprise ending or whatever, because of course the mom shows back up, and it's like you only pushed her out of a door. Why did you think her out of everybody else was like dead or incapacitated and wasn't going to be able to do anything? It was a great movie, and it's only like an hour and 17 minutes. So even if you go into the movie and you don't think like, oh, this is going to be that good, or even if you watch the movie and say, damn, this ain't that good, it's literally an hour and 17 minutes. It's like watching an episode of TV almost, just like with a few extra minutes in there. Like, yeah, that just ups the scale to me. With the way movies are going and trending now, 2.5, 3 hours long, they think they got to have these super long movies for sometimes no reason at all. Now, there's some stories that like needs that much time, but not every story needs that much time, and everything else. But I give it man, on the Hambone meter, I give it an 8.5, man. 8.5 out of 10. If you like horror, I think you need to see this one. Give it a chance. Like I said, it's not a long running time, all that good stuff. Really, really surprising. I couldn't believe that I saw like this quality of a movie. That I don't even think this movie was put in the movie theaters. And like I said, there's interesting things in there. Like we just got out of COVID a couple of years ago. We're still dealing with some of that effects now. And it's set during that time and stuff. Like I said, it was interesting to see how like people reacted and did things. You know, people taking stuff maybe too seriously and not as seriously in certain moments and stuff like that. So that was a very interesting thing to have in the movie, added on to the like a slasher style film. And like I said, this movie played it super smart, come up with creative ways to do things. There was probably one instance out of the entire movie when I was like, oh man, that's stupid. That couldn't happen. Or that was just dumb for them to do, kind of thing, like a dumb decision. But with that being said, guys, like I said on the top of the show, please like and subscribe. Put your comments down below and let me know like what you think about the movie if you've already seen it, or let me know that you went and watched it because you watched a review. That would be pretty cool as well. Another thank you out there to the Patreons and all that kind of good stuff, allowing us to do these things that we do here. I know it's small and we don't have like this big budget or anything, so hopefully the channel can grow and we can able to do more things. But with that being said, guys, until next time, peace.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boys.